When you hear the former colonizers saying you are good, you must pause and ask yourself what evil you are committing against your people. You can see what they are trying to do to eliminate my good friend Ibrahim Traore. He survived many assassination attempts because when you're doing good, they'll take you out. When Professor PLO Lumumba steps onto the stage, he doesn't mince words, standing with Captain Traore while warning that they want to kill him and calling out every cowardly leader who fears the truth. Stay with us and smush that subscribe button as we dive into the bold address now. Today I'm reluctant to use the word democracy because what is it? John Henrik Clark, that great American, said that when African countries regained their independence, not a single one of them adopted a government system that is based on African traditions. We all adopted systems that were inherited from our erstwhile colonizers. And Clark says none of us will ever succeed on the basis of those systems. And I can't agree more. Look at Africa today. As I speak, Sudan, look at Sudan. Look at Somalia. Look at the Democratic Republic of Congo. Look at the entire Sahel. In Guinea, Doumbouya had to mount a coup. In Niger, they had to mount a coup. In Mali, Goïta had to mount a coup. In Burkina, Ibrahim Traore had to mount a coup. In Gabon, Nguema had to mount a coup. There may have been successful elections in Botswana and in Namibia, but those are few and far between. We must interrogate this thing we call democracy. In Kenya, the people you call leaders, don't listen to them when they're on podiums in Nairobi. No, listen to them when they are speaking in their mother tongue at funerals. When they're their true selves, they are Bus or Maragoli speaking May Nation, or they are Kamba, or they are Kikuyus, or they are Luos. Their political parties don't matter. That is why there is not a single presidential candidate that has contested an election after 5 years in the same political party. As I said before, the forest changes, but the monkeys remain the same with the same habits. And let me tell you, if you continue doing the same thing in the same way thinking that will change, nothing will change. I now see individuals across the country congregating, and you call them opposition. These were individuals who were in the Mwa government. They were in the Kibaki government. They were in the Uhuru government. What is new about them? Nothing, except their insatiable greed for power and the privileges that power offers. So we are assembled here to ask critical and serious questions. I've been around. I was here in the 1980s. I was here in the 1990s, when the entire movement to change the Constitution was alive and well. I was in the Council of the Law Society. I've been here. And I've seen Kenyans repeatedly electing individuals in the name of democracy who, in other parts of the world, would be completely unelectable. We elect music, comedians. And as one wise man, is it Albert Einstein, who said, when you elect a comedian and take him or her to the palace becomes a circus. And that is why we have what we have today. What is the value of knowing that which is right without doing that which is right? I keep on hearing Kenyans saying, we have a beautiful constitution. What is the beauty of a constitution which you honor and breach? What is it? You know, in 1967, the late Tanzanian president Mwalimu Julius Nyerere was asked, what is the secret of development? And he said, Nia na kazi. And then he said, rhetorically, we can hold meeting after meeting in, boardroom after boardroom, in workshop after workshop, but we are unmoved and untouched. The question is, when will we have our journey to Damascus, like Saul of Tarsus, that we may change? Are we ready for the change? Are we prepared to do that which is right and good because it is right and good? I was involved in the process of making the Constitution, jointly with others, for 5 years. We produced the Boma's draft. We made many recommendations, some of which were retained in the current Constitution. We said Nairobi should not be a county. You made it into a county. We said we should have no more than 18 counties, between 14 and 18. You created 47 devolved units, each of which a governor thinks he or she is running a country. The United States of America has only 50 states, with a GDP of 23 trillion United States dollars. Nigeria has only 37 states. India, 37. China, 30 provinces. South Africa, 9 provinces. We have 47 counties, with 47 governors, 47 deputy governors, 47 speakers, 47 deputy speakers. And you tell me that we're going to grow? When a county raises $400 million in a year and consumes $2 billion a year, we can't grow. Even if there's divine intervention, we can pray and fast all we want, but nothing is going to change until we change. We have individuals in positions of leadership who do not care. They are unmoved and untouched. You accuse an individual of engaging in corruption. He has a mob around him escorting him to the offices of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and he comes out and gives a press conference. Corruption is the most profitable business in Kenya today. You have individuals whose salaries, even if they live for 1,000 years and work for 1,000 years, would not buy them half an acre land. And they are multi-billionaires. They have never won any lottery, never made any discovery. And we celebrate them as successful men and women, and we elect them to boot. As Dr. Ndiaye said, I grew up partly in Marengo, partly in Jericho, partly in Eastleigh, partly in my rural home in Wanganai, Bondo, in Siaya County. When I was sick, you'd go to the dispensary and you would find medication. Today, unless you're suicidal, you don't visit any of those outfits. When our leaders are delivering children, they go to the United States of America. And we are not angry. We are told that our police officers, and it is in the public domain, collect $13.3 billion in bribes in a month. And we are not hungry. Young Kenyans, the task is yours. Choose you now whether you want to be Kamba and Luos and Lohayas and Kikuyus, or you want to be Kenyans, with a tribe only being for cultural reasons. Samora Machel said, if the new African nation is to thrive, the tribe must die. Not that you cease to identify yourself as such, but it cannot be the basis for decision-making. That I'm voting for an individual because he is from my ethnic group. That is the only qualification. That they gave me 200 shillings. That is the justification? We must rethink governance. Today, we have a parliament whose only claim to fame is that they have an insatiable appetite for our taxes. Our parliamentarians, relative to our GDP, are the best paid in the world. They want CDF not because they want to serve us. Ask each one of them how many companies they have formed, where their drivers and brothers and sisters and house helps are the directors. Ask them whether they do not trade with the counties and with the constituencies that they run. Ask the MCAs whether that is not true. Ask them how they become multimillionaires within 2 years of joining public office. Ask them why. When the courts have declared CDF to be unconstitutional, they want to constitutionalize it. Whether we like it or not, it is a slush fund. And you know, your typical Kenyan politician thinks that we have the memory of a mosquito and water combined. That is why they don't care about us. The time is now that we must demonstrate that our civic duty not only demands, but requires that we make demands of them. This is not the time for cowards, who die times without number. Because if you are a coward today, your children and children's children will pay the price of our cowardice. We must speak out and bear the consequences. Yesterday, the 29th day of the month of April in the year 2025, you saw how 6 individuals were killed in cold blood, and nothing will happen to them. That is the tragedy. A culture of lawlessness and impunity has taken root in our country. So when you talk about democracy, what is it? It is not true that we did not know democracy. No, it is not true that democracy came from Greece. That was the Greek definition of democracy. When it came to the United States of America, Abraham Lincoln said of it that it was a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That was their definition of it. In the year 1235, amongst the Mande people, they already had a Mande charter. At that time, we did not have the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. There were orderly kingdoms in Africa, but the democracy that we are trying to practice is the neo-colonial version that was bequeathed to us by the colonizers. You come to Kenya, we still try to mimic the British. You go to former French colonies, they are trying to mimic the French. You go to former Portuguese colonies, they are trying to mimic the Portuguese. Until the day that we exorcise the ghost of mimicry, we are going nowhere. That is why when you go to our parliament, a member of parliament cannot pronounce a word without saying, Mr. Speaker, sir. Make your point, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, cannot form and be part of a speech. And you look at your speaker, he is dressed in wool that was used in medieval Europe. And you think that that is a badge of honor. You go to our courts. You find our judges are equally dressed in things that ought to belong to the Museum of History, alongside the spinning wheel. And we think it is a badge of honor. You come to our leaders, they still want to be addressed as His Excellency, or the Right Honorable something, titles that were used in medieval Europe. We must change. And it is only going, we are only going to change when you, the young generation, my friend Abib in Corogocho, and I know that area well, we work there, even as I speak, go out there and speak a different language. When we were growing up in Jericho, it did not matter whether one was Kikuyu. We didn't even know. It's only later that we knew that Kariuki was a Kikuyu name and Aula was a Luo name. Today, you see the government advertising a post, and they put their John Lokoi, John Kikuyu. Go out there in Corogocho and change minds. Those of you who are from Kara, in Kara, go out there and change minds. The Greeks divided their population, as you famously know, into 3 categories. Idiots. Idiots are individuals who may have gone to school, they have degrees, PhDs, they are professors, but they are idiots. They do not make demands of their representatives. When there are potholes on the road, they buy 4-wheel drive cars. When there's insecurity, they hire security firms. Garda-World from Canada, Fargo from the United States, for GS from the United Kingdom. Those are idiots. They think they are immune. They are cursed to their countries. Then there are tribalists who think that their security and safety lies with their tribesmen. They say, "My is yours." Those are tribalists. Those are tribalists, and they are a danger to our country. The 3rd category are citizens, the people who look at Kenya, and they know that Kenya belongs to us in the generations yet to be born, and they want good roads. They want good schools, where you do not know whether you are in CBC or CBE. You never know what we are doing. They want security. They want opportunities for our young men and women. They don't want our young men and women to be exported to Myanmar, to be exported to the Arab world in modern-day slavery. Those are citizens. Today, I'm urging you to be citizens of the Republic of Kenya, because when you are citizens of the Republic of Kenya, you will be good citizens of Africa, East Africa, and good citizens of the continent of Africa, and good citizens of the world. So go out there and do that which is good and right, in the knowledge that we have men and women in positions of authority who do not care and think that they are larger than life, almost as large as death. But remind them that they are lived a Mudu in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Remind them that they are lived a Bed Boasa in Central African Republic. Remind them that they are lived in Bongo and Gabon. Remind them that they are lived Jaku Cloud, Devalier in Haiti. Remind them that there lived Hafiz al-Assad and Bashar al-Assad in Syria, and they are no more. Remind them, God bless you. Weppy's a thief, but he's our thief. So the decision is yours. But we can change it. If you don't succeed, your children will. If they don't succeed, their children's children will. So don't despair, my young lady from the Republic of Uganda. Don't despair. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish all of us well. If this clandestine exchange intrigued you, hit subscribe and ring the bell to stand with Logan Africa, where we decode every pact and power play. Drop your thoughts below. How can Africa turn these alliances into real progress against imperialism? Join our community and let your voice shape the next chapter. Until our next deep dive.